I'm going to show you how to use the remote lab access to use the Adobe Creative Suite without downloading and subscribing to it. The remote lab access lets you log into a PC, a virtual PC in our software lab that has the software so that you can do your Adobe homework that way and then come back and turn it in. So here's the link to the remote lab access information. I'm going to click on that. And then it's going to give me a couple of links. It's going to give me a link for computers using Windows 10, using remote computer access. So that's one option. Apple and Mac users need to install the remote desktop app, and Chromebook users need to go to the Chrome store to get remote desktop. So since I'm on a Mac computer, I'm going to click on Microsoft Remote Desktop for laptops and see what that brings me. So it's asking me to open the App Store, and I'm going to say OK, open that link, and it'll bring up that app. And here it is. So this is what allows me to log into a different computer. This is what it looks like when I'm on my computer. I log into this other computer, and that's where I can find the applications that I'm going to use. That's where I can find Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, etc. But I need this program first. So I'm going to do the download. And once it's downloaded, I'm going to install this app. It's actually doing that work for me. It's installed it in the background, and I'm going to click open, and it will actually open up an instance of that application. So here's the Microsoft Remote Desktop app. This is my App Store app. I can close that one. And let's take a look at the continued instructions here. So I've got that app, and it says navigate to remoteaccess.labstats Minneapolis College and choose a lab group depending on the software you need to use. So there are two options. There's a standard remote lab that has these programs on it, and then the specialized software remote lab has many Adobe programs, and it also has AutoCAD and Revit for the architecture students. It's got some programming programs for iTech. It's got some stuff for apparel design. These are all in the specialized software lab. So I'm going to click on that link. And then they actually put the specialized ones on the top because that's what most of our students are coming here for. So the standard lab ones are down at the bottom, the specialized ones are up at the top, and these are the ones that are available for you to use. So I'm just going to click connect, and it says download and open the connection file. So I'm going to click download, and then that little bounce in my downloads folder was the connection file that opened. It's this file with numbers.rdp, and it says just download and open it. So I'm going to click on this. All right, so now I'm ready to open that connection file. So it's in my downloads folder. I'm going to click on it to open up the remote desktop program. It'll automatically open. And then I need to type in my StarID and password. It's going to set up a computer just for me. And this can take a varying amount of time. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So just be patient, wait for it to come up. All right, it's telling me the certificate couldn't be verified, it might not be secure. However, I've done this before. I think it's probably fine. I'm going to click continue. Now it's going to boot up my computer, and sometimes that actually takes a few minutes also, so just Be patient, wait for it, it'll come up. All right, so now we are in a different computer. We are on a lab PC, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open a browser and go to D2L so that I can see my assignment and turn it in. So I'm going to open up a browser. You could use Chrome or Firefox or Edge or whatever browser you're comfortable using. I'm going to open up Firefox. And then I'm going to go to D2L. So I scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to log into D2L. And then I'm going to view my classes. Intro to Graphic Software is the one I want to look at. And then I could go and take a look at my assignment and do it. So I'm going to actually look at my assignment, and if there's a video, I could actually watch it here as well. So the assignment that I'm doing this tutorial for happens to be this abstract composition in InDesign. So I know that I'm going to need to create an InDesign file. And that's why I'm logged into this PC, is that I can have InDesign and use it and then turn it in from here, from this computer. So I know that I need to open the program Adobe InDesign. So to find the program on the computer, I'm going to go here and type InDesign, INDESIGN, and the app is available, which is great. Okay, so now it's going to ask you to log in, and the login that you use for Adobe is actually separate from your StarID login. It's a login that you create yourself, and it's free. You can create an Adobe account that's a free account where you don't have the rights to use the programs on your own computer, but you can sign in on a school computer, which is what this is, and use the program. So if you've never logged into Adobe before, you probably do not have an account, and your StarID and password email will not work here. So you'll need to create an account. So that's when you click create an account right here. And then you type in the email address you want to use with your account. So in your case, this would be your student email. So I'm going to type in my student email. So your student email is your first name and your last name at go.minneapolis.edu. And since I have a student ID at Metro State that I can use to demo this for you, that's what I'm going to do here. But you should definitely use go.minneapolis.edu. I'm just putting in my Metro State one just to see if I can successfully do this. And it's just telling you to check your email address for typos, make sure you have the right email address, and then you can make up your own password. So I'm going to make up a password for this one. And they say at least 8 characters, lowercase and uppercase, contains a number, does not contain your email address, and is not commonly used. I think I've got one there. And then I click continue. And then they want to know some demographic information about you. This is not legally necessary, but I'm going to put mine in anyway. All right, so it looks like it's going to allow me to use this without confirming my email with a separate confirmation link in my email, which is good because that would be an extra step. You'd have to go and check your email and confirm and then come back in. So it's really good that it didn't ask us to do that. This What's New panel, I found that this takes a couple minutes before it'll let you close it. But there we go, we've got it closed, and now we are ready to open up a document and get started on the homework. We'll use the text tool. Now it's having a little bit of a lag. See, it was a little bit slow in doing that. So that's partially working on a remote computer. We'll do that. All right. So let's consider that my assignment is done. I'm going to save it. So Command S is save, or Control S. We're on a PC. So I'm going to save this, but I don't want to save it as an InDesign document. I want to save it as something else. So in InDesign, what you need to do is, instead of doing a save as, you want to go export. So I'm going to export this as a PDF, which is what I want. And then I'm going to save this as Kirsten sample document. And it offers you a few different ways, places to save it. I'm going to have you save it on the desktop because I've found that unless you're already connected with OneDrive, saving it to OneDrive here before setting it up doesn't really work out that well. I'm going to show you how to get to OneDrive from the browser. So save it on the desktop. So click on desktop and then save whatever assignment you're working on. Save it on the desktop of this virtual PC, and then I'll show you how to both turn it in and save it in OneDrive for future. But this OneDrive is not set up yet, so do not use this one. So I'm going to click Save and Export. So it's doing that. Now I'm going to minimize the InDesign. So it's sitting down here. I can get back to it by clicking on it, but it's just minimized. Now I'm going to open up my browser again and go to D2L and show you how to turn something in. So we'll open up Firefox. All right, I've got Firefox open. I'm going to sign in, and I'm going to sign into a sample student account that I have so that I can show you exactly how this is going to go. Okay, so I'm going to go to an instance of Intro to Graphic Software. Where I can turn in this assignment. So I'm in my D2L for my course. Now I want to save the file that I saved on my remote desktop. This file right here, this PDF file that I saved from InDesign. I saved it, and you'll remember that I saved it to the desktop. So now I want to use D2L to keep that file for me until I'm ready to turn it in. So I'm going to take a look at what I have access to here. Locker. So just click on that. This lets you upload files and then go and get them later. So remember, you're still on a foreign PC here. You're still on a PC that exists on campus somewhere, and it's not your computer. So if you save something here, you're not going to be able to find it again. But the way that you can keep it and find it again is to put it in your locker. Like if you wanted to be able to work on it some more, put it in your locker and then get it back out of your locker the next time you connect, or put it in your locker and then turn it in from there, which is what I'm going to show you. So that was again was under resources and then locker. And then here we have the option to upload files. So I'm going to say upload files and make public to others, no description, not necessary. Drop files here. So I'm going to grab this file, drop it right there, and then save, and that'll be in my locker. So now it's in the locker, and let's imagine that I came back to this a couple times and I finished it, and I'm logged into D2L on my own computer. I'm logged in where I don't have InDesign, but I'm still able to do all my other stuff, and I want to find something and turn it in. So I'll show you that process. Right now we're still on that virtual PC. I'm going to actually close this browser. I'm going to close InDesign. Probably doesn't matter if you even quit these things because we're going to close this whole computer. So I'm done with InDesign and I'm ready to leave the virtual PC experience. So I'm going to click on the Start button again, and then I'm going to click the Power button here, and that will give me some options. Restart would be if I just wanted to sit here and have it restart itself. Shutdown is not really going to work because we're connected remotely. What I want is disconnect. So I'm going to click disconnect, and I'll be shot back to my Mac computer. So now I'm back on my home computer. This is my own computer. I'm no longer connected to the virtual PC. And I went in a browser to D2L here. I've got the assignment, and I'm ready to turn something in. So as you know, if you're ready to turn something in, you click add a file. The file's not going to be on my Mac hard drive. It's still on that virtual computer or wherever I saved it. So one way to do it is to save it to OneDrive. If you're used to using OneDrive, then you can certainly do that as an option. It's a little bit complicated to set up for the first time, so that's why I didn't do it in this video. That's why I had used the locker instead. Of course, you can also upload things to Google Drive or any other kind of storage that you have that you can transfer things between computers. But I'm going to show you how the locker works. It's pretty slick. So you're ready to submit your assignment. You can click add a file, and it offers, do you want to do it from my computer? You may be used to doing this option, find the file, click it. You can also ask for things from your locker. So I'm going to say add a file and then click on my locker, and it shows what's available in your locker. And I'm going to click select that one. That's the PDF I want to turn in for this assignment, add it, submit, and I think probably confirm one more time, done. Okay, so I've submitted that file, Abstract InDesign, one submission, one file. This is the assignments list, so this can be very useful if you want to figure out what you have turned in and what you haven't. You go to assessments and then assignments, and then if you haven't turned anything in, it'll say not submitted. And if you have one submission, one file, this is what it would look like. This is an old course, so that's why everything says 0F. But if I grade it, it'll give you a grade, and if you've submitted it, it'll show here that you've submitted it. And then if there's feedback, you could click and read the feedback. So that's how that works. It's kind of a long process. We went through going to find the info, getting the remote desktop app for the first time. Once you have this app, you don't need to reinstall it again. You have that app on your computer and it'll work. You would just need to go to this page, pick one of these to connect to it, and then go through everything you need to go through to open up InDesign, do your work, and then save it somewhere like in the locker in order to turn it in. So that's the entire process. Hopefully it helps. I'm going to write down these tips as well, and let me know if you have any questions about this.